Kyle, can you explain what happened with Sherman and when you became aware of the injury?
And we were still waiting on it Monday. It happened like the last 4 plays of the game, I believe. I think Spoon came in when they were kneeling the ball. They ran it a couple times and kneeled it out. That's when Sherman was done. I think it was the series before that. We were still waiting to see how it felt on Monday. And later Monday afternoon, we found it was hurting a little more than he expected. And fortunately, we were able to do the IR to return. So hopefully, it won't be too long.
Kyle, I heard Raheem say today that you guys figured out a way for him to get back for the birth of his child next week. Just how important was it for you guys to be able to accommodate that? And then on the field, how has he grown as a receiver out of the backfield?
Raheem's just grown in every aspect. He gets better and better the more opportunities he gets. Got a real good opportunity on that look Sunday and did what he was capable of, and that was a house call, so that was awesome. Also did a good job in some other areas too. But with the birth of his daughter, I'm happy it works out for everyone. We'll see how it goes. It hasn't happened yet, so you never know. But you're always worried with the COVID testing and all that. But it sounds like we'll be able to work it out, get him the testing he needs, and get him to Cleveland to see the birth.
Kyle, obviously you've dealt with a lot of injuries through your time here. Having them this early in the season, how big of a challenge has that been just in terms of trying to game plan and prep and all the moving pieces that you have right now?
It's a challenge, but you always have something like this each year. It's hitting us pretty hard right now. It's a little different too. Having the IR to return really helps. It allows you to manage some stuff differently, but it also hurts bringing guys in and how long it takes to get them to practice. Everyone saw we brought Sanu in, but he can't practice with us till Friday, going through the protocols and everything with the COVID testing. So it's a challenge, and some stuff's still up in the air. So, but it's not our first time doing this, so you got to be prepared, whatever way it ends up on Sunday.
Hey, Kyle, can you just give us any further update on Kittle? And then what have you seen out of Jordan Reed where you're sure he's ready for a bigger role than Sunday's 10 snaps that he had?
Kittle, he's battling. We thought it'd be all right. Woke up the next day a little sore. He fully expects to be there Sunday like he always does, and just like he always plays through the game when it happens. But we'll give him the whole week. Always love to give him out there on Friday. We'll see how that goes. But, Friday's just a walkthrough anyways. But Kittle is one guy that if he's ready to go on Sunday and the doctors say he's good to go, we have no problem with him going without practicing. And then Jordan's coming along as planned. He got a late start to camp. We put him in very slowly in that with some of his injuries that he had from the past. And we plan to play him like we did there in the game. We'll see if he gets a little bit more playing time if there's less tight ends up.
Kyle, how much can Mohamed Sanu be involved on Sunday if he can play, if he passes all the protocols? How much can you communicate with him at this point?
That's the benefit of being with someone before, that he's familiar with the offense. He only had 1 year away from it and did some very similar verbiage and stuff in Atlanta even after I left. So he's familiar with it. It's good that we got him done so he can at least listen to our meetings. He can't be here, but he has an idea of the game plan, can see it all. He'll be able to get there out of practice, which is a half-speed practice anyway. So, I think Mo will do his part. He's a pro. He'll learn his responsibilities, what he has to do. And basically the decision of whether he'll play or not probably is going to depend with the health of our other receivers and how that goes this week.
Hey, Kyle, just as far as Richard's injury, is that, I guess, technically a calf strain? And is it kind of connected to his past Achilles issues? And if so, is there a concern, that could be more than a 3-week situation?
No, I don't think so. And they tell me calf, so I don't hear about the Achilles. And so I would think that's good. He doesn't sound too concerned about it. He just is going to need a couple weeks, we think. And, maybe a little bit more, but hoping it's only 3. That's why we put him on IR.
Kyle, what happened with Tim Harris Jr.? And then did you get a chance to see Sanu physically at all, or did you just sign him, given your past relationship?
No, we just, first Tim Harris, he strained his calf in Friday's practice last week. So he's out for a little bit, similar to Sherm. And then, no, with Sanu, it's too hard to bring guys in for a workout and stuff. It just takes too many other days. So that's what was good with being familiar with Mo, that he could get here, start studying the playbook, allow him in Zoom meetings. So if need be, we need the numbers out there, he'll be ready.
Hi, Kyle. A couple more on the injuries. Are you still optimistic that Brandon Ayuk will be available on Sunday? And is Ben Garland also on track to return this week?
Yeah, I think they're both about in the same boat. You know, they both got into practice last week towards the end of the week. They both at least made us think about playing them on Sunday. We didn't go with that. Today will be the first day I see both of them going full speed since last Friday. So I'm optimistic about it. I know they're going to get out there today, and hopefully they make it through and look good.
You haven't seen Mohammed since, for a while. When you look and try to figure out how you're going to use him, do you just go back to 2016, or do you try to make adjustments for, any changes in his, mobility or speed or his skills?
No, Mo right now, I mean, our offense is different than it was there. Our personnel is different than what it was there. So you never fit someone in the exact same way when it's a different team, different people, different scheme. You fit him in the best way that he can to help our team. And we've had some pretty unfortunate luck here with the injuries with receivers. We know we're going to get a number of them back eventually this year, but bringing in Mo and having someone like him available right now is just. We feel very fortunate of it because he can come in and do whatever we ask him to do. I mean, he's very smart. He knows all the positions. And the thing about Mo that I enjoy the most is how tough he is, how competitive he is. The game's not too big for him. If he showed up on Sunday and we needed him, I know he'll go in there and fight and compete. And that's why it's good to have a guy like that ready if need be.
Hey, Kyle, did the fact that the next two games are on artificial surface have any factor in the decision with Debo and now with Richard? Was there some amount of extra caution going into that? And could that occur with any other players maybe going into those two games?
Yeah, I mean, it never is the 100% the reason you do. I mean, if they were healthy enough to go, we wouldn't just not do it because of turf. But anytime that you have leg injuries, lower half injuries, going on turf doesn't help. Guys aren't excited for that. It's always a little bit harder on them. So the fact that it was close and stuff like that, it definitely helps you lean towards waiting so you're not on turf. But that wouldn't be the only reason. I mean, they wouldn't be going if we were on grass, but the turf definitely makes it more dangerous. So they made the decision a little bit easier.
Hey, Kyle, we were on with Adam Gase just before you, and he confirmed that Frank Gore is going to start at running back for them. Just your thoughts on Frank's career, what you've witnessed him over the years, but especially the last couple of years where you have to still consider him a viable threat as a starter.
I love Frank Gore. I think he's one of the best running backs to ever play. I think he's one of the more underrated running backs to ever play. His longevity and his numbers now have finally given him a little bit more attention that is past due. From his rookie year to watching him at Miami, my first year in the league, I think was 2003, and I remember watching him as a quality control at Tampa, just coming out of Miami, just studying him. And I loved him then. I loved him every year. He runs so hard. The guys that run that hard very rarely can play to his age, which just shows how dedicated he is, how much of a football player he is, and obviously extremely talented, but he's a special dude.
When you guys hit the road next week, is the plan to have all the injured guys stay here to rehab and do all that?
Yeah, they're all going to stay here, and I think I'm not exactly sure with their itinerary, but I think they're going to meet us out in West Virginia Sunday night.
Kyle, George Kittle actually missed a couple blocks on Sunday, and so did Kendrick Bourne. That was such a strength for you guys last year, the receivers and tight ends blocking downfield in the run game. Do you think that's a product of not having a preseason, not having live reps?
No, I don't think so. I thought those guys blocked, the two guys you just brought up, I thought they blocked pretty well in that game. By no means were they 100%, so they definitely missed a couple, but I definitely didn't think they had a bad blocking game, and a couple other things that we all could do better, but no, Sunday did not have to do with our rust and not being out there. It's just when you don't make a few plays in the game, and you're playing a team that has some talent and is playing pretty hard, that's just what happens. You lose a close one at the end.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
What's going on, everyone?
Jimmy, how familiar are you with Mohamed Sanu, and what do you think he can bring to the wide receiver core?
I've seen a lot of tape on him just from watching Kyle's offense in the past and things that he's done in it. I've heard tremendous things from all the coaches. So we're excited to get him in here. So it'll be a quick turnaround, but he's been in this offense before, so hopefully he could pick things up right where he left off.
Jimmy, speaking of film, what did you notice about the opener, about your play, what you needed to do better on, what you're happy with?
I think there's obviously good and bad from watching the film, but just being decisive, getting the ball out on time. I think those are two big things that will go a long way. But just like I said after the game too, but just being more consistent as an offense. Each drive, going out there and executing.
Jimmy, Sunday obviously wasn't a performance that I think you might have been expecting, but going back the last couple years, week one hasn't been great for you. Is there something you can point to as to why that might be? And do you expect to bounce back and similarly to how you did last year, maybe get going as the season progresses?
Yeah, well, it's this season's a little different than past. So I think without the preseason games and things like that, obviously the first game is a little different, but everyone's dealing with the same circumstances. So we just got to move on, get to week 2 and get this thing rolling now. So it's you got to deal with the situation that you're given and control what you can control.
Jimmy, I know you guys have dealt with a lot of injuries in the past and last year at certain times. Having this many this early in the season, how big of a challenge is it for you, and particularly when you're trying to game plan and putting that in and knowing what all the moving pieces are at the same time?
Well, we've dealt with this before. I think every team, you got to deal with your injuries, next man up mindset. But just, in the past, you got to rely on the guys that you could trust. They earn that in practice. You earn that, vice versa. But I think it's really just about getting the guys out there who you feel confident in, who you know what they're going to do, and who will do it on Sunday.
Hey, Jimmy, when the Sanu rumors all started, I put in some Falcons 2016 film, and you just mentioned that you guys watch a lot of that. How closely, since that was Kyle's, I guess, most productive season as offensive coordinator, how much do you guys watch of that year? And do you watch it close enough to realize that they had a bad week 1 offensively as well that season before they turned it on?
Well, we used to watch a ton of it in the past, especially when I first got here that first year, just not having a ton of film, 49ers film with this offense. So we saw basically that whole season. Yeah, I heard the stories of they started off with a rough week 1 and bounced back after that. So I think it's like any offense, it's just you got to move on week to week. Each defense you're going against is different, each defensive coordinator, and just attack each week differently. And so I think our coaching staff puts us in a great situation every week of just putting us in good plays to be successful.
Jimmy, in the past, you've done extra kind of passing and catching drills with your receivers when things maybe have not gone well. Have you done that yet this season? Are you doing any little extra credit work?
Yeah, I mean, we always do that. We, the little meetings that we do without the coaches, routes after practice, little things like that I think go a long way. And so, yeah, we've been doing that like normal. Just need to do more of it.
Jimmy, obviously you won't be able to see Mohamed until Friday. Have you had an opportunity to talk to him on the phone or communicate with him in any way? And what can you do because you won't have a full speed practice with him? What can you do to kind of get yourself in the best position to have some kind of chemistry with him in case he has to play on Sunday?
Well, he's, Mohamed is watching all the meetings. He's doing everything he can to, stay engaged with the game plan, with the offense, and pick up, the little nuances that are different from when he was in Atlanta with Kyle. But just, it's really just about watching film, learning his body language. It's going to be weird not getting a live rep with him, but, we'll make it work somehow. I think it's just the more film you can watch on a guy and see how he runs routes for certain defenses, I think it'll make you more comfortable with him.
Hey, Jimmy, if George can't play, I figured Jordan Reed might have a bigger role. So how have you kind of developed that trust with Jordan on the practice field, and what did you feel from him in the game Sunday in his limited reps?
the chemistry with Jordan is growing day after day. It really is. Just staying after with him, seeing the things that he could do in route running and what he sees from a defense. It's been impressive. And so the tight end group as a whole, they're a bunch of freaks, man. They really are. But it's a fun group to be around. They're always doing their job and always putting in that extra work, and you gotta appreciate that.
Last one.
Hi, Jimmy. We've seen you now both with and without the knee brace throughout training camp, and I think you put it back on for the game. I'm wondering what the difference is mobility-wise for you when you have it on versus when you don't, and what's going to drive that decision moving forward this season?
Really no decision to be made. I mean, I'm going to wear it every game. I already know that going into the season. Just the mobility really doesn't change. They do a great job with these knee braces, the training staff getting, I think it's made of titanium or something like that, and it's real lightweight, so it really doesn't affect anything with mobility, but it's just more of a kind of a safety blanket for me.
Thank you, Jimmy.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Go ahead for Fred.
Hey, Fred, how you doing? What were your takeaways, I guess, defensively from week one? I guess, obviously, I'm sure you're saying would say part of it's not up to your standards.
Yeah, of course. I thought guys played really hard, especially being at the first game. Dudes played their tails off. I think we need to be better, just in our execution, making sure everybody's on the same page, communicating, and obviously we needed to make sure we kept the quarterback in the pocket and limited the explosive plays. But like I said, I think guys played hard, and I think we're hungry now to get back going. Week 2 versus the Jets. We're hungry and ready to get after it.
Fred, missing Richard now for the next 3 weeks at least. Aside from his production at cornerback, what's the thing that's going to be most difficult to replace with him, whether it be communication or intangibles, energy, stuff like that?
Yeah, I think you said it. Just his intangibles as a leader for this, not only the defense but for the team. Him being the seasoned vet that he is. But I mean, I know guys are ready to step up. It's always next man up in this league, and I think guys are ready. And I think if we put the right week of practice in that we know we're going to, we should be firing on all cylinders this week.
Hey, Fred, I'm guessing you were probably in about second grade when Frank Gore started playing running back here with the 49ers.
No doubt.
When did he kind of get on your radar? What is it going to be like facing him?
When did he get on my radar, just in life, or I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't even know. Like you said, I mean, he's been playing for such a long time at such a high level. You know, extremely impressive. But you know, it'll be an honor to go against him this week. He's still got it. You know, he's going to get downhill and be a tough physical runner. You know, so we're going to have to make sure we're getting all 11 to the football as usual, and make sure we're gang tackling.
Fred, you guys played 82 snaps in the game. Did you guys feel that towards the end? Did it feel like you were kind of out there a lot? How did that affect you and how you were playing out there?
Yeah, I mean, we did play a lot of snaps. I think we anticipated to play a lot of snaps, honestly. I mean, we knew it was going to be that type of game, especially against the Cardinals. You know, they're a great offense, and they stayed on the field, you know, for too long, and we needed to make sure we were getting off on third downs. But just with the penalties and, you know, letting quarterback sneak through here and there, that's what kept them on the field. And so, obviously, when we play them next time, we got to be on our stuff. But you know, we're on to the Jets and excited about the challenge that they present.
Two more for Fred.
Piggybacking on what you just said, being onto the Jets, there was a lot of talk the other day about the 24-hour rule. Is there any sort of, you know, quote unquote hangover today about the game, or is it just onto the Jets, as you said?
Hey, you said it, on to the Jets. That's all that needs to be said.
Hey Fred, just talking about Frank Gore and legends coming up. Who did you watch growing up? Like, who did you model yourself after just growing up?
I mean, I played a lot of different positions growing up. You know, I played mostly tight end in high school, and then ended up switching over more to the defense side of the ball. But I've always been a fan of guys like Ray Lewis. I remember Sean Merriman being a San Diego guy back when I was in San Diego. He was a guy that I really liked, and you know, just some of those defensive players. Those are guys that I kind of admired, you know, for sure growing up.
Hey Jet, now that you've had a chance to kind of sit back and rewatch the tape from your debut with the 49ers, what was your overall impression of your first game?
You know, it felt good to get back out there. Felt good to, you know, be fortunate enough, blessed enough to score a touchdown. Obviously, would rather come away with the win, but you know, we didn't execute good enough to come away with the win. So, you know, today was just about, you know, moving on to the Jets this week, correcting, you know, stuff we already talked about on Monday, and you know, just keep it going into week 2. Try to find a win. She's stuck like that.
Jarek, as a running back in the league coming up, how did you view Frank Gore, and what were some of the things that he did that stood out to you, and things you maybe tried to implement or lessons learned, something like that?
I can't really hear him. It's so low. From last week or just in general? Oh, yeah, I've seen clips of Frank Gore. You know, his one-cut ability is just amazing. You know, he puts that foot in the ground and he explodes. And then, you know, the thing that obviously sticks out with him, you know, is future Hall of Famer, but just this consistency over the years, year after year after year after year after year. He comes in there, he does the same thing, he proves himself, he gets the job done. So I'll probably say those things.
Hey, Jarek, you made some plays in passing game and as a runner in the first game. How are you feeling physically? And then how are you feeling physically just a couple days after the game? And then where do you think you can improve as a player overall moving forward?
Can you repeat that for me? Yeah. The body feels good. I thought it'd be a little bit more sore not playing in a long time, but I feel better than I expected. And then things to improve off last week is just stay focused and be greedy. I had a run where I got stopped, tackled on the one. I wish I could have got that in. That one kind of ate me really bad because if I scored there, then we're obviously up some more points. So I'll just say when I get in that get down there in that zone, or 5 below, 10 in the red zone, whichever it is, just find a way to score next time.
Jarek, Jimmy was in here earlier talking about a little bit how he does some extra credit work with you guys, receivers, just to get the timing down. What can you guys do to have better timing going forward into week 2, better than you did in week 1?
I just say just continue what we keep doing. Continue to do what we do after practice. Get the extra work in. The reps during practice. Just make sure we complete those. And make sure everybody's on the same page. There's nothing. I wouldn't say do anything different. Just Sunday. We didn't execute. Unfortunately, it's going to be like that sometimes. So just find a way to execute and, find a way to win the ball game overall.
Hey, Jack, you lost the season opener. Now you have back-to-back road games on the East Coast, and you've got, some significant injuries to deal with. Does this feel like, I realize you played one game, but does it feel like a bit of adversity for you guys early? And are you curious to see how your guys respond?
Definitely some adversity. We got, Debo's out. Obviously last year, was a big piece for us. But, we got a lot of receivers and we got a lot of depth. So, when the injury happens, just next guy up. That next guy has to step up, fill in that role and, fill in that role as best as he can. So, it's a little bit of adversity, but, this team has been through so much adversity, since I even first got here. So, it's nothing new. Just got to find a way to get the job done.
Last one.
Jet, just like that, with all the interactive pieces that you guys have been kind of ushering in and out, how can you guys get together and work on that timing? How hard is it to kind of synchronize again with all the new moving pieces?
Like I said before, I think the best thing we could just do is to continue to get together after practice. Just make sure everybody's comfortable, execute the reps in practice. And, that just is what it is. I don't really have, any answer around it or anything like that. Just continue what we do and just have a better showing next time.
Thank you, sir.